I'm back. I had a very nice, warm vacation in Manta, Ecuador with my parents. I really try to make sure I spend at least a month with my mom and dad every year or more if I can. They go away for 3 months a year, so of course Ecuador is a great place to go and hang out, and this year we had a wonderful time. I really saw the change of the sky though in Manta, and Manta was so much more than just coming to the realization that the solar radiation management program is definitely global. I have no doubt in my mind that it is happening there. But I'm also learning a whole lot more about the water vapor. And of course, what better place than on the ocean to learn about water vapor? Interestingly enough, in Manta every year, it is just clear as a bell. You'll get a little rain, but it's really infrequent, even in rainy season. And what I was seeing was complete blockout of the sun every single day, just about every day. I think we missed, in 25 days, I missed about 4 days. That was pretty significant considering it's completely not typical to a person that goes every single year and experiences her time there. So learning. Really seeing the influence of the towers and of course the beginning of the 5G towers. Now the 5G towers showed up outside the development or the mini smart city I'm in or will be about 4 years ago. And that's when I started to see a change in the clouds. And of course it was watching the clouds there, then coming back here to Canada because I have a tower not too far from me. And I was starting to see the change. In the last 3 months, I've come from, I would be driving or I would be outdoors, I'd be walking, and I would see what I think was trails. But then I wasn't, it was like, it was the residual of the trails. And a lot of times it was super low. And it was when I actually watched The World of Hot Water, which is Raphael O'Neill's little series that she's done on this huge subject that no one else had brought it to my attention in the past, that I got excited because we were going to talk. And what I had noticed out shooting was that the plants were actually influencing the cloud cover in the area. And I didn't know how to articulate it at the time. See, this is always the problem with all these new concepts because you don't have a name for it. And so when you try to describe it, that's when people think you're kind of off because you're really struggling to articulate what you're seeing because it's not like you've been taught before. When Raphael and I talked, of course, then I go off to Manta and then I come home. But I stop in Calgary and there I go to get the mail from my parents one day and I see this plume of water vapor. So I follow it. I go out to the plant and it is Capital Power, the Shepherd plant, which is Rothschild, just for those who might be interested in that, one of their little investments. And it gives off a significant amount of water vapor. And I followed the trail. And then, of course, from my bird's eye view, I could see that it was huge. Like I could see how that plant influenced the weather on the horizon. So on my way back to Regina, of course, I start nailing in on the plants. So wherever I could see them, I would just turn off. my drive, it wasn't great conditions, and my drive ended up being 11 hours because I kept going off on roads to check out these plants and get the shot. And when you're in the middle of nowhere, it's really easy to see how much influence these plants have. So, of course, I get back to Regina. No, I filmed quite a bit. Actually, I'm going to put them all up. I've got to put them all together because Medicine Hat was a water vapor central as far as I was concerned. And, of course, then I get to Regina, and this water vapor that was previously benign, because no one has ever pointed it out, that it is actually a huge factor in the greenhouse gas effect. 95% of the greenhouse gas effect. But because water vapor is considered to be Mother Nature's end and therefore cannot be influenced, they put it over here where it's absolutely hugely influential and causative in the local climate. You know, as I'm traveling, I'm thinking, my God, is this the biggest scam on earth? Because it really is. This water vapor is flowing freely, influencing. And then yesterday, as I was out at one of our local plants, it was a steel plant, I could see that as the water vapor was coming up in these plumes, it was also vaporizing. So what we were seeing was that vapor heading into the sun. And complete, when I got to the airport, now of course I went north first, then I ended up at the airport. And as I turned back to the north, it's complete whiteout. What's also interesting is that Regina is, okay, so the radar is here and Regina is here. So there's still rings going around us. And I'm looking at that. But also, I'm thinking there's a correlation between where all these plants are, and I'm mapping all that out too. I'm on the trail over here. I can't, my curiosity is piqued, and therefore I am going to get to the bottom of this and figure out, are they all working together? Because I saw chemtrailing to the west yesterday. And of course, all of the vapor was coming from the east and the north. It's easy to know your directions here because we are 100% grid lined. Saskatchewan is grids. 1 kilometer, 1 kilometer. It was a nightmare when I moved to Toronto, navigating these odd streets because there's none of that going on over here. Very little. In any case, I'm on the water vapor trail. I'm excited because this week I'm going to be talking to Raphael O'Neill. We're going to do a live and we're going to figure out, Facebook won't let us get together. Then we're going to hit you all from 3 platforms. So we're going to figure out how that's going to be done. I have no idea, but here's me being creative because that's what we do over here. And please, if you, we're thinking mid-afternoon for this live, and obviously we want participation. But of course, we can host a watch party later and so on and so on. We're going to experiment how to get this out to as many people as possible, discussing Doppler radar, but also discussing this previously buried subject that is actually quite large in the whole climate change debate. Stay tuned. Things are going to get very interesting. And of course, I'm off to do some filming. We're going to go check out how that water vapor is doing today. Have a good one. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. My YouTube channel, of course, I'm on Instagram, Martine Carlina, and of course here. Best to link up in as many places as possible because this is going to be censored material, and you know it. So we need to stay ahead of the game and keep in contact. Have a fabulous day.